Possums. Possums. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is Morgan, and today we're talking about 10 reasons I absolutely love living in New Zealand, to give you just a little peek into what it's really like to live here for us since moving from the United States. This is going to be part of a series about New Zealand I'm doing, so be sure to subscribe so you can check them all out. And be sure to stick to the end because the last reason is my favorite reason, especially comparing it to America. So I moved to New Zealand with my fiancé and dog just a couple years ago for a peaceful lifestyle and to get ready to start a family. And it has really paid off because New Zealand is 10 out of 10 peaceful on my scale. Alright, let's get into it. The first reason I love it here is that no matter where you go, someone's house, an Airbnb, a hotel, a hostel, they all have heated towel racks. This has been so exciting. Now, I used to think that this was just them being fancy and honestly, maybe just a little spoiled. I mean, what, everyone has one? It's not even that cold. You really need a warm towel every day. I think we got one for my mom for Christmas one year from like Sharper Image, and we all felt very bougie about it. But then we moved into our tiny house here in the country, no towel rack. And every time we went to take a shower, wet towels. Whacked. Grab a bucket and a mop. You know, they should really make a song about that. Now I get it. And there is no room for negotiation. They are seriously necessary with this wet climate in the wintertime, and since we got one, it has made shower time much less musty and upsetting. I even installed it myself. The second reason is that the people are so resourceful. Of course, I have only had experience living in regular cities here in New Zealand, not like the big three major ones, so things might be different there, but in my view, the people living here make a solid effort to fix things instead of throwing things out and just buying new ones straight away. I think this is partly because it's expensive to ship parts here, being so far away from manufacturers. So they really mastered working with what they have and passed on how to do that to other generations. No, there's no Amazon Prime to the rescue. Get out some saran wrap and the WD-40. Let's go fix this boat. All right, get your New Zealand controversy pants on because for this third one, we're talking possums. Stick with me. First of all, possums in America are different than the ones here in New Zealand. For those of you that don't know, the ones in America are kind of gross looking. And we really don't see them or talk about them or think about them much. They're kind of like that guy in high school with the long, greasy, slick-backed hair, wearing like that silk button-down shirt with the dragons and the fire on it and the rolly backpack. Give it a minute, you'll remember him. Or maybe you won't, but I'm sure he remembers you, and he's probably making a lot of money right now. Anyway, possums. I guess all I want to say is that I love the possums here in New Zealand. They're cute, and I even like that they are a point of controversy. Yeah, I wish that was America's biggest thing right now. So here's the deal. I guess they brought them over in New Zealand in like the 1800s to start a fur industry. They do a very soft fur. But I guess they have been damaging the ecosystem for the native bird life that they have here. They have no predators except for like cats. And long story short, they bought a bunch of poison made in Alabama and have been dumping it around trying to get rid of them, but then other animals come in and eat it also. It's just been a whole thing. But I'm not here to take a stance, just to say I think they're cute and better than America's possums. Although I don't think these guys can hang by their tails. Oh, possums. Possums? By the way, if you enjoy this kind of content about New Zealand and my healthy journey to starting a family, pretty please subscribe to my channel, would you? And give it a like. I can't tell you how much it helps support me and will let me keep making videos like these for you. Now fourth, which also might be controversial, I'll just make the point that this is just my personal experience where I live, but I was in a pretty rough car accident about a year ago. It was my first accident ever, and obviously it was even more scary because it was in a foreign country and it's just me and Brandon here, no other family members are over here or anything. And if you'd like to know more about that process, it was actually a lot different than it would have been in the States. Just let me know in the comments below. Maybe I can make a separate video about that. But one of the things that really stood out was the kindness of the police officers that were involved. They let Mr. Barkley in the ambulance because he was with me when it happened, and after I came home from the hospital, the officer actually came to my house to explain everything and just to make sure I was okay. He actually came back several times and even followed up many months later when it was all over just to ask how I was doing. exactly. I just thought that was really sweet, and I don't know, maybe they do that in the States, but I haven't heard of that happening personally. Now, speaking of sweet people, I have talked about this in another video about the people in New Zealand and what they're like, so check that out if you're interested. But reason number 5 for me are the expats here. People that have either moved here or are just visiting from other countries, and there are a lot of them. I can't tell you how well traveled people are here compared to the States. I came in thinking, oh, we'll sound really interesting and cool having moved all the way from America, like it was a big deal. Apparently traveling is way more common than I thought because we are the least well-traveled people here, Kiwis included. I had no idea that taking a full year or so to travel the world after high school, or college as it's called over here, is just what they do. Now, that was quite confusing when I first got here. I thought, gee whiz, there are a lot of 15-year-olds in college over here. I mean, I knew America was on the lower half of the education curve, but really? It's because college means high school. But it really does make sense. I mean, why wouldn't you get your travel and life experience going before you decided what to do with the rest of your life? Oh, right, because in America, university is going to be $1 million, so there is no travel money left. Get them to work quick and they can travel when they retire. That's the motto. Switching gears to number 6 are the outlet switches. Did you see what I did there? Now these are neat because on the side of the little pluggy part is a switch that you can turn on and off when you're not using whatever is plugged in, so you don't have to unplug it every time. Genius. And that's my short plug for these plugs. Number 7 is that Kiwis share things. And it's been really fun too. I mentioned that there are beehives where we live, and they brought over a jar of honey for us. And at the office where Brandon and I work, people bring in all kinds of stuff. Oranges, avocados, salsa, fresh fish, venison and wild boar they've hunted. And we, sometimes I bring in some gluten-free, dairy-free cake pops, sometimes. It just feels like a big community, and if you have excess resources, you share them. Number 8 is that drinking too heavily at bars is actually not encouraged. If you serve alcohol in New Zealand, you must also serve food as well. That means there are going to be yummy, crispy hot chips available to you. And chips means French fries. Oh, side note, there is no ranch here. No, of course, I know, nobody cares. No, of course nobody cares. But I'm from the Midwest. I mean, we dunk pizza bagel bites in ranch. No, there are no bagel bites here either. Anyway, in bars there are lots of signs saying, don't drink too much, be careful, we won't serve you if you're intoxicated. Aw. Reason number 9 why I love living here are rain guards on all the cars. Really, you won't find a car without them, and they're so darn handy. Keep the air flowing, keep the rain out. Enough said. Reason number 10, the best, the last, why I love living in New Zealand is the low cost of giving birth. And as Brandon and I are planning to start a family next year, I've done a little bit of research on this topic, and giving birth here is, drumroll please, free. It's free to give birth in a hospital here. You don't need insurance or anything. And this includes so much. A specialist who is available 24/7, 3-night stay in a private room with your partner when you give birth, or if you'd rather give birth at home, you get 2 midwives. Obviously all the equipment, urgent care for your baby after they're born, and I looked this up, and this means coming to your house at least 7 times, all the health screens and scans, and they can even come to your house to do visits. Oh yeah, and then they pay you every week. More on that in this video if you haven't seen it yet. I told you it was a good one. And let's just for fun compare that to America, where the average cost of giving birth only, not even including the care before and after, this is only for an in the hospital birth, is $7,000 US or 12,000 New Zealand dollars. And that is with health insurance. And that health insurance costs you, yes ladies and gentlemen, is an average of $7,000 US or 12,000 New Zealand dollars. And that is with health insurance. And that costs you an average of $1,200 a month or $2,000 a month New Zealand. And here's another big shocker, the safety doesn't stack up either. You'd think maybe since giving birth in the States is so much more expensive, maybe it's a lot safer? No, that is drastically not the case. Shockingly, women in the States are about 9 times more likely to die due to pregnancy and childbirth related complications. I won't even get started on the difference in daycare costs. Isn't that far out? Crazy. Alright guys, well I'd like to just say a big thank you to New Zealand for all those reasons we just discussed. It is a real privilege living here right now, but don't forget this is a part of a series, and coming up are some reasons I don't love New Zealand. You'll definitely have to come back for that one. Or I'll come to you, like in your phone, right to you. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I make new ones every single week, and if you have any questions or ideas for more videos, let me know in the comments below. I really enjoy getting to know you guys, just chatting in the comments, so keep it up. I'd love for you to come on this journey with me, and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye! I'm gonna go look for possums. Today we're talking... You really needed the people... So they've really mastered passed down how to do that. But I'm not here to take... There are bees, and at the office that Brandon and I thought so. You know who doesn't like possums? Is Mr. Barkley. Not into it. Why don't you guys ever come to my house? I'm just always with you in your pocket. That was a good one. Love it here. I love it. Gotta love it.